Hi guys, welcome to assignment 3. It's Johnny Weston here from Belfast. A little bit of information about myself. I'm a live sound engineer, a live audio visual engineer, a theatre tech, and I would also do some recording and bits and pieces like that as well, and lighting. Okay, so what we're going to cover this week is we're going to cover the subject of submixes within a particular DAW. This DAW that I'm going to show you this week is Reason 7. Now, if we look at each particular channel here in Reason's mixer, we can see that there are 8 sends out. Okay, so effectively these would be termed to be a subgroup. This particular application, this particular DAW does look considerably different from that of the likes of Logic or Pro Tools or anything like that, primarily based upon the fact that everything within the Reason software is modelled upon a piece of hardware of some description. This particular mixer that we're looking at from top to bottom is actually an exact replica of an SSL 9000 recording console. So that's every last element of it is a replica. It's a clone of something which has been very successful. So if we get back to our subgroups, so we've got 8 here which are going to feed out. Okay. We can activate each of these individually if we want. We don't need them at the moment, but they're all just turned on by this switch which activates. Now if we follow across the desk horizontally, we'll see that each of the channels all has effects 1, effects send 1. Likewise, we've got effects 2, effects 3, etc. the whole way down the board until we get 8. They all terminate, each of these rows terminates in a return. Okay, so what we do is we control the levels per channel with these trim pots. We control this, and this determines how much from this particular channel is sent to the effects unit here. So if, for example, we were to take mix 1 on drums and turn that right down, and to do the same, and to do the opposite even on the clap track and turn it the full way up, what we've just determined is that there's no drum track leaving submix send 1 going to the long reverb, but conversely we have determined on this particular track 2, which is a clap, we've determined that we're sending the absolute maximum that we can output from that channel to the long reverb. Okay, so let's just put that roughly back where it was and pull this back a bit as well. Okay, so this is pretty much the way it looks on the desk. If we were to look now at where these would be actually going to, these effects, we need to go to a different view. We need to go to the rack view. Again, as I've already mentioned, everything within the Reason software is modelled upon a piece of hardware. If we look here, we can see that this piece of hardware in particular is a reverb type unit. It looks like a 19-inch rack. Likewise, so does the room, and so does the tape echo. These 3 are effects units. Okay, so if we go back to the desk, if we look at the desk, we've got our sends and we've got our returns. So effectively, this is what we're sending out to an effects unit, and this is what we're accepting back from the effects unit. We also have a master volume, a master trim pot for the effects return signal. Okay, so back to the rack. This is the back of the rack. This particular section here is called the master section, which is relative to the inputs and outputs of the subgroups which leave the desk in each channel. There are 8 per channel. We can see that we have 8 stereo sends here, and we've got 8 stereo returns. So this section is relative to each of these, and this section, the effects return, is relative to each of these. So for example, we can see that effects 1 is long reverb, so we're sending signal from all of these which are that have the blue button pressed on them, with the amount determined by the trim pot. It's then going out from these channels, leaving this. For example, if we click on this, we can see that we're leaving the desk and we're going to the input of the plate reverb, the long reverb. There's the second cable going from effects send right, effects send 1 right into the combi input of the plate reverb. Now, if we then click on the effects return, we can see that this is connected to the plate output. So where in this particular cable we're using it to take signal from the master section FX1 submix output into the plate reverb, this one then brings the signal back from the plate reverb into the effects return, and then the effects return is indicated here. So in conclusion, we've just been through how to use each of the 8 individual submix subgroup outputs from each individual channel, how to send individual levels from those mixes through to the returns, and then the returns will play back through the main front and left. Okay guys, hopefully this has been of some benefit to you. It's been fun making it. I do actually have another much longer version which goes into much more detail about the other subgroups or submix options. Unfortunately, however, it wasn't possible to fit everything and all of the options surrounding this subject into just 5 minutes. If anybody else is interested in getting the other copy, just let me know. Thanks.